Hello everyone, I am VAOS and welcome to City Skylines. Yes, this is not a Kerbal Space Program video. If anything, it's more of a test. We'll see how well this does. If it does well, then I'll think about making another one. If not, well... So anyway, now the way that I build cities is a little different from some people. That's what happens when you're mad. I've always liked the futuristic looking sci-fi circular cities. Very round. Lots of round going on.
Round.
But also in practicality, round is actually, in my opinion, more efficient than a grid pattern. I mean, technically it's still a grid pattern, but it's circular. Now, when I was first starting, they have this cool thing called a dirt road. A dirty road.
So dirty.
But the thing about a dirt road is that it's very cheap. Cheap? Shit. So you can kind of use it to plan out your city in a way. I mean, don't completely plan it out, but you can definitely get a foothold in there without it costing too much. Very, very cheap. Now, when planning my city, I usually, for circular designs, you have to remember that in the future in your game, you're going to be upgrading your roads. That means your roads are going to get bigger, much bigger. And the way I like to design my stuff is to have some room in between, I guess you could call them city blocks. That way I can put in trees and stuff in the middle. So on the outside, you have your roads, towards the inside, you have your buildings, and towards the core, you'd have essentially nature. Now, in order for that to happen, I need to make sure to plan for this. So as you can see, what I'm doing here is I'm actually looking at the spaces in between that would be left over once I upgrade the road to a full-on fledged 6-lane road. I tried to leave about 2 squares in the middle, like a space of 2 squares. As you can see in the middle there, it's almost like 1 square space. I didn't like that, so I wanted to stretch it out a little bit more. A lot of newer city designs that you see going on are very open space designs. Back in the day, during like the boom and the rush and all this other good stuff, they didn't care. They just slapped anywhere, anything, everywhere. There was very little design. But recently, city planning is a very real thing, and so you'll get a lot of open space concepts and designs. Do not be afraid to suck up as much land as possible without cramming as much in there as possible. You're going to save yourself a lot of headache when it comes to growing and designing and rebuilding in your future game. You'll have the space for it if you plan now. One of the nice things about a circular designed city is that a lot of times you can cut it into 4 slices and sort of mirror or mimic each slice. So if one slice has a fire station and police, well, you can just do that with all 4 slices in the same spot, spread out evenly. Things like schools and stuff though, like medical and hospitals and clinics, can cover a wider area, so you don't need to do that to each slice of the pie. But you can do it to like one side and then the other side and sort of mirror half and half. A lot of mirroring going on. Mirror. But it makes construction relatively easy. Now for me personally, I do not like mixing factories, industry with housing and commercial because of the pollution, the toxic pollution. Never mind the noise pollution, toxic pollution, nasty stuff. Blech. But in order to create a thriving city, we need jobs, especially in a city that's not very, say, educated. So a lot of manual labor. Need jobs to make money, pay the bills. So we have to give them industry. So when making industry, I make sure that it's way back there, somewhere far away. It's not going to be there permanently. It's only for a little while, but it's something to start off with. Later on, I'll actually take the industry and kind of give it its own little circular place to live, so it can dirty that little spot and leave everything else clean. But for now, because of the fact that we don't have a whole lot of map space to grow on, we're just going to have to, well, sort of eat it. We're going to have to make a big mess, but just so long as it's far away from everybody, then we should be fine. Nice thing about this game is that you can always clean up the mess. It takes a while, but you can clean it up. Now, ideally, and this is for like end game stuff, you're going to get an industry called offices and stuff instead of toxic nuclear waste. Ideally, offices don't really make that much noise at all. So the pattern that you want to do is kind of like commercial, which makes noise, and then put a layer of offices and then slap a layer of homes behind it so that people in their homes don't have to worry about noise, and offices don't really give a crap about noise, so that you could put that in like a sandwich in between commercial and residential, ideally in-game stuff. Now, when I'm using the dirt roads to plan out my city, I'm also planning for future stuff. In reality, they actually do this. They plan out the city like fully built near 2100 or 2050, and then they go backwards from there. How do we start off? Where do we build? How does this work? Blah, 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 blah. I mean, have you ever been driving down a road and it's got this big giant medium on your left? It's like huge medium, trees, grass. And you're like, oh, that looks pretty. Well, that's not actually there for design. It's not there to look pretty, although it can look pretty. That's what they call expansion. So when the city gets bigger, that medium is going to be completely torn out and replaced by road. So eventually, when you're an old buzzard, that medium that you were so fond of driving back and forth is going to be gone and replaced with asphalt. Now, maybe in the future they'll invent flying cars and we won't have to worry about that, but don't hold your breath. So as soon as I was able to, I purchased some more land, and now it was time to get rid of all that industry that was hogging up the corner there, or the side. But I didn't want the industry to be anywhere near where I was building, so I made sure that I put it far away, way away. Turned it into its own little circular industry thingamajig. Now, for now, because of the fact that I don't have a whole lot of room to work in, all the industry will pretty much be into one circular city design. But as soon as I start expanding and buying more land and territory, I'm actually going to take that industry hub, as it were, and kind of spread it out in tiny little dots everywhere. This will do, well, about one or two things. It will allow me to put like garbage collection in these little hubs, and then when I place these hubs all over the place around the main city, it allows for quick and fast garbage collection for the whole city. See, if you have one spot that's 100% garbage collection, but it's far away from the main city, after a while your city will start crying for garbage collection because of the fact that your garbage is too far away from your city, and it takes forever for your garbage trucks to collect everything. And so some people get left behind. So towards the mid of the game, I'll start spreading out the industries in their own little circle of pockets. This will of course allow garbage trucks to come in any which way around the city, being able to do their job quickly and efficiently, taking care of that problem. Same thing with dead people. Oh my gosh. People love dying on you. It's a fact of life. But if you can't collect their bodies fast enough, people start complaining, obviously. So you want to make sure that when you get the crematories, to kind of spread those around on the outskirts of the city a little bit. I was going to be nice and build like the City of the Dead, or something. Really nice temple, very, very holy, sacred ground thing going on. Put parks everywhere. Have a little statue, the Statue of Life, which is, I think, one of the thingamajigs that you can get. The problem is that this little place where they could bury dead people was a little bit on the far away side. So after a while, people's dead bodies started piling up in the city. So I had to kind of change that a little bit and sort of move everything towards the interior of the city rather than having like a little place on the outside. Now, of course, many of you have played this game before. When you towards the mid game, you tend to run into a lot of traffic problems. This happens, of course, when your city starts to grow. This is one of the reasons why I said make sure you have plenty of room when you first start off, because you're going to need that room when you grow. Now, for me personally, when I build highways and roads, I go for a very organic approach, because I've noticed that trying to go for a very robotic grid pattern doesn't really yield the same results as something that is more keen to looking at the blood veins of a human heart or something of that nature. So when you build your highways and byways, the roads weave and intersect with one another, going around and dipping in and out. It's a very flowy, organic feel. I know for a lot of hardcore engineers, it's hard to look at. Things must be straight, damn it. It must have a vertical line. Trust me, the more organic your highways, the less traffic you'll have. Now, mind you, it's like a garden, really. When I see something that could be improved on, I might straighten something out, or I might make that organic feel even smoother, more ironed out. The goal is to try to get as much traffic in and out as possible, quickly and efficiently. So if I start seeing something build up, like a clogged artery, obviously I'm going to focus on that part, add more highways, but make it so that the traffic that wants to get to one part can get to that part without running into traffic trying to get into another part, creating the blockage. You have to give your traffic options, because you know that it's not like everybody's trying to go to the same place. There's a lot of them that are trying to get into a different spot, but they're all clogging, bottlenecking in one area. So if that's the case, then give them bypass lanes in a sense, allowing the traffic that wants to get to the area way ahead down the road, giving them that option to jump on a bypass and go that way, so that the traffic that's actually trying to get through that bottleneck that wants to go to a certain area closer up can, without running into traffic behind it trying to go further down. Some of you may have noticed already that I'm not running any oil or coal plants. There's a really big reason for that. One, I'm down for renewable energies in real life as well as the game, but other than noise pollution, things like windmills and stuff don't generate any pollution whatsoever, right? So you can place them in areas that are near the city, and it actually makes the city look much nicer instead of a big giant oil or coal plant looking like some sort of smoldering hellgate in the middle of your city. Just doesn't really work. Not to mention that further on down the line, you're going to get a garbage incinerator plant anyway that's going to generate power, so hell, there you go. And can I just say that if the moon was really that close, we'd all be dead. Now, as for the nuclear plant, I might buy one or two of those when they're available. But we'll see. Nuclear technology has come a long way when it comes to nuclear waste. The media and your movies make nuclear waste look like some sort of green slime that will turn your pet turtles into ninjas, but in reality that's not really the case. It's very highly likely that in the future nuclear technology is going to be very clean technology. But regardless, I usually stick to wind power or solar power when available. So yes, I do use subway tunnels and I do use bus stops. It helps with traffic because people start using those means for transportation rather than buying a car and blocking up the road. Haven't unlocked the airport just yet, and for some reason I don't think I can actually get a seaport. It's saying that the link is not found or something of that nature. Now, I haven't played this game in a while. This is the first time I've played it in a very long time. I'm pretty sure it's something I have to unlock, but if that's the case, I guess I'm not going to have a seaport anytime soon, but that's alright. Well, anyways, that's all I got for today. Let me know if you're interested in looking at more of this kind of videos. Like I said, this is more of a test than anything else to see how well this thing does. If it does really well, then definitely look forward to it in the future. Right now I'm going to start working on the Dres mission again, see if I can finish that. I've got some Kraken drives that I was working on, making it real small, the gear drive actually, and of course we still have the Duna colony that we work on periodically every now and then. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for being a part of this channel. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like. Please leave a like if you liked it. And if you really liked what you saw, consider subscribing. I upload often, mostly Kerbal Space Program, but I'm starting to open up to other games as well. I also have a membership program if you're interested. If you do become a member, you get neat little emojis and badges and stuff. It's pretty cool. Check it out. But anyway, this has been a City Skylines video. Thank you again for watching. Love you all. Take care, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now. Bye-bye.